Alexander Vosdick, who is fighting in our co-main event, NABO and ABF champion. The man who here needs no introduction, but formalities, Terence Crawford. We have Julius Indongo, and we have Craig Baker here. So let's get started. I'll start with you, Shakur. This is going to be your third pro fight. What have you learned from your first two pro fights that you hope to take into this third fight, and even what else can you improve on going into fight number 3?
I learned that the program a little different. I actually like it a lot better because
Hold your mic.
because we get to weigh in the day before and it's longer rounds now. I get to display my skills more. But I keep getting better and better, and this fight, I'm going to put on superb performance.
You had a chance to spend some time in training camp before with Terence Crawford and watch him there in Colorado Springs, where you train as well. What can you learn from being around a guy like him?
I definitely learned that he's super competitive. I'm going to let everybody in Omaha know that I took $100 from him playing basketball. I'm super competitive, and I learned a lot from him, seeing how he moves and seeing how he is and how he take boxing so serious, and he take his craft very serious, and I learned a lot from him.
Oh, hold on a second. Did you learn the McGregor challenge?
I don't know. We're gonna ask Bud about that. He was not in that video, but go ahead.
Oh yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. This dude is like he's like an NBA player. Like he's a cheat code. So I made sure his team was garbage. And we had 5 good players. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was 5 against 1. It was a tough game though.
Well, I'm sure that competitiveness will help you continue throughout your career. And speaking of competitiveness, at this point, do you feel like each fight you'd like to take a step up in competition for your opposition?
Most definitely. I'm a competitor, so I like fighting tougher fighters, and hopefully my next fight I'll get an 8-rounder with a tougher opponent, and I'm ready to put on shoes.
All right, anything you'd like to say to anybody back at home in Jersey?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I appreciate everybody watching from Newark, New Jersey, my city. I love the support that they give me, and I'm gonna keep putting on the show for y'all.
All right, that's Shakur Stevenson. He will be fighting. His fight will be on the ESPN app right before Vosdick and Baker, who we'll get to next. So Craig, we'll come to you. Texas is in the building. So Craig, at 17-1 with 13 KOs, you have a great record. But coming into this fight, many people would consider you the underdog against Alexander. Do you kind of relish in that opportunity? Are you okay with coming in with kind of the cards stacked against you?
That's cool to me. I get a kick out of proving people wrong, so that's fine.
Coming into this fight, you've won your last 5 fights by knockout. You only have 1 loss on your record. How would you kind of describe your style of fighting? And is the knockout, obviously you don't want to predict that, but is that something you kind of go for that just comes naturally to you?
It just kind of comes, we get in there and we execute. We set a game plan, we execute, and then if the knockout comes, it comes.
You're getting an opportunity to fight for his NABO and ABF title, and an opportunity to fight on ESPN in front of what could potentially be, over 1 million people watching. So how does that make you feel, getting that opportunity?
I'd like to thank Top Rank for this tremendous opportunity, and it's great. It's a bit much. But yeah, I'm very grateful for this tremendous opportunity, and I plan to put on a show.
Are you cutting the beard, or are you keeping the beard?
I'm keeping the beard.
Oh, all right, thank you, Craig, appreciate it. I know you don't want to talk too much, so. You want to say anything else?
Just thank everyone out back in Baytown for their love and support, and go.
Tune in Saturday, right?
Tune in.
That's right. Thank you, Craig, appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, and over to your opponent now, the Nail, Alexander. How you doing?
Very good.
Good, good. We spent some time in training camp with you while we were doing camp life with Vasily Lomachenko. Him and his dad had nothing but great things to say about you. What is it like training with them, and just kind of the vibe in camp? Because it seems like you guys are very disciplined and you take what you do so seriously.
Lomachenko is a very talented guy, and his father really good coach, so I'm learning something from him. His father gave me always good advices, so it's very good opportunity to improve my skills, to get something from them.
You've been in the gym for quite some time. I know we talked a little bit about how you thought you were going to get a fight a little earlier in the year, but it didn't happen. But with that being said, how prepared, how ready are you to be able to showcase your skills now on ESPN to a worldwide audience, more people than have probably ever watched you before as a professional?
Actually, it doesn't matter for me. I get used to fight with a big audience because I was an amateur, I was in Olympic Games. I'm getting used to all of this, so just regular stuff.
Just regular stuff. No big deal. You're coming off impressive performances against Junieski and Chilemba to kind of set you up here. What did you learn from those experiences, and what are you looking to build upon to lead you possibly to a title shot in the near future?
I'm learning something new from any fight, so I'm looking forward to learn something from this fight and just try to improve my skills and staying ready for title opportunity.
And maybe a lot of people, you know, obviously they consider Craig an underdog, but you have a lot of respect for him, and you really think that maybe he's a little bit underrated for his skill set and his abilities, correct? We talked about this a little bit yesterday.
Yes, I'm disagree with people's opinion. I think every opponent is really dangerous because it's a boxing. Everything can happen. Everybody can hit. Everybody can get hit. So I saw the Craig's fights against Steve Lovett and Humberto Savini. Maybe those guys also underestimate him, and you know, he knocked them out. So I don't want to make the same mistake. So I take him serious and expecting a tough fight.
Todd, there's some really good talent in the light heavyweight division, and I know, you know, Igis, his manager and stuff, is eager for him to get an opportunity at a world title. Where do you think he is in that? You know, is that coming in the next year? Do you think for him, or what do you think about his skills in that division?
Well, I think right now you in that division, Shakur's co-manager Andre Ward holds the keys to that. So I think you know, everything goes through him right now, and I think there's a breed of young, talented guys. Alexander, obviously, at the top of it, who's been having in Adonis Stevenson and Kovalev. See what happens if he comes back. But I think, you know, the most important thing for us is we don't chase opportunities. We try to create opportunities for all of our guys. And I think it's most important to get him in the ring, see how he does in this fight, and then decide what we want to do after that. But I think it's obviously a very, very exciting division.
That's it. You're done. Anything else you'd like to say?
I'm agreeing.
You're agreeing. You're done. He's like, I'm hungry. All right, Alex, thank you so much. Let's turn it over now to our main event. We have world champion here to my left, WBA and IBF world champion Julius Indongo. Julius, welcome to the United States. I mean, I know you've been here training for a little bit, but this will be your first fight here on American soil. So how excited are you to be able to demonstrate your skills to a completely new audience here in America?
Thanks for the opportunity. So I don't really have much to say regarding that, but I just appreciate and thank for such opportunity, because every boxer regarding on Africans, they all want to get such opportunity of getting fight in America away from home, not like moving to America and train here and do performance here. So it's not something that's easy, and it will also motivate most of them that they're also doing such a way in Africa. So it's a big motivation. So, but I appreciate Almighty guys for such opportunity, and the top rank and matchroom for coming to defeat those that they've been against this such opportunity of undisputed championship.
Your Matchroom has taken you to two different champions' countries to win your two belts, and now here you are a third time fighting on enemy territory, if you will. What kind of mindset, what kind of mentality do you have to come in and take these belts away from people on their home turf?
So you just have to be a man, you know, for that to get it, because it's not easy, and because if you don't have a heart and focus, so there's no one can defeat someone in his backyard where he's having a lot of backups. So, and it's a matter of having skill and also focus. So in Mandini also rely on what been issued to you regarding the promotion, training, and also those that are there for you to encourage you and to motivate you, not those that are there to demoralize you.
Did you ever think a year ago that you would be sitting right here, getting the opportunity to fight for all of these belts and make history?
Not at all.
I don't think we thought so either, to be honest with you. Kind of like, no one really knew, and then you just beat, these guys and came here and getting the opportunity. It's quite a story.
Yeah, that makes me to say this because I never even fought for any intercontinental, international belts.
No smaller belts, just right to the big boys, right? Yeah.
So opportunity for the world championship, that's all comes up with.
Lastly, coming into this fight, even though you're undefeated and you have 2 belts as the underdog, does that bother you at all?
Not at all. Because to me, when I see boxing, it's just the same. So I've been, like my career in amateur, I've been in amateur for many years, and I've fought all everywhere in the world. So my amateur level have been taking me everywhere in the world. So I don't see the difference of being undermined or being not seen or not be. All I have is the focus and concentrate on your game plan and see what will be the result after the fight.
Okay, we're streaming live on the ESPN app, so if anybody is watching back home that in Namibia, anything you'd like to say to everybody and why they should tune in on ESPN and watch you, any message for your fans watching?
All I can say is that they must just remain humble and remain focused and see what will be the victory, because we have prepared for this and it's an historic fight. Everybody's behind it and want to see how will it be. So that's all I can say about this.
All right, well, welcome again, and we're excited to have you here, and we're looking forward to Saturday night.
All right, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Let's go, champ!
All right. Over to the other champ we have here, the Ring Magazine champ, the WBO champ, the WBC champ, Terence Crawford. Terence, go ahead. Let me first ask you about this video that's gone viral lately. I have to ask you about this McGregor challenge. Who inspired you to get into the gym and take that challenge on? Because it's gone viral, it's been posted everywhere.
Mikey.
Mikey called you out, right? Mikey Williams.
Mikey called me out, but we was already talking about it in the gym, playing around, and then Mikey sent his little video over and told me to do it, and that's how I got started.
You're a good sport. When someone calls you out, you're competitive, as Shakur mentioned, so you got to take on the challenge. But all right, well, let's talk about a real boxing match now. You're taking on Julius Indongo for all the belts. Maybe a year or 2 ago, you weren't too familiar with who he was because they had made an offer for Janowski and then to Burns because they were the title holders. But kind of when did he come on the radar, and what do you kind of know about Julius Indongo?
Well, when he knocked out Janowski, that's when I think the whole world took notice and was like, where this guy come from? And then being that he went over there to Scotland to defend his title and take on Ricky Burns for his title, then everybody was like, okay, let's see how he fared against Ricky Burns. And when he beat Ricky Burns in tremendous fashion, everybody was like, okay, he's for real. And then that's when my name got mentioned, and that's when we took notice of who Julius Indongo really was.
And although other names were being brought up, why was it so important for you to fight him and get the opportunity to become a unified champion, something, as Todd mentioned, hasn't been done in 15 years and never in the 140-pound division?
Because this is what we in the sport for, is to fight the best fights in the division and fight the best fighters and collect all these belts that you see in front of you.
Todd, why do you think it's so rare that guys don't want to put, all their titles up on the line? Why do you think, you've been in the sport for a very, very long time. Why doesn't this happen more often in these guys where they come to the table and fight to be undisputed?
Well, this is it's a great question, but more complicated. The one thing about boxing that is unlike any other sport, with the exception of one thing, which is soccer, it's global. So when you have a world title that is in the country of Japan with a Japanese promoter like Mr. Honda or somebody in Germany, the globalization of it makes it really hard because these guys are heroes to their country, they're heroes to their fan base, and therefore there's big business for them. And it's very hard to get people to understand that, and it's just not like putting the best in the best, because In soccer, we know we don't always get the World Cup, right? You don't get each country going against it. And so that makes it very difficult. And I just think that because of the size of the sport and its globalization, the titles are held on to and cherished.
Yeah, they don't want to lose it.
By whatever.
Yeah.
And it makes it. Now, not all fights are this type of a super fight, right?
Right.
It's everybody takes steps in their career, and everybody has a big fight, and then they take a nice defense or whatever it is. But this is a unique circumstance, and I think because of its robust globalization of the product and people from all over the world having world title holders, it exists kind of fragmented.
Well, and kudos to the two fighters up here willing to risk it all. You know what I mean? They could have just defended one or two or took other fights, but they said, let's do this, let's make history. And I think that they both deserve a lot of credit for stepping up and risking their O's in this fight. So for you, Terence, doing that was important, not only to unify, but we talked a little bit about this earlier in the week. This fight means more to you than your first shot at a world title, correct? Why is that? Tell the people why this is so important to you.
It's history. The closest person to capturing all 4 belts in this division was Saucedo. Yeah, all 3. And I want to be labeled as the man that won all 4 of them in my state of Nebraska. And it means a lot to me being that, a lot of people don't believe good talent comes from Omaha, Nebraska. And I've been proving them wrong ever since I came on the scene of boxing, from amateurs to pro. And to win all these titles in one night is gonna mean everything.
Maybe you'll cry.
Maybe.
and having this fight be not in your hometown of Omaha, but in Lincoln, you were kind of a motivating force behind that too, because you want to bring a big championship fight here to a big city where everybody can come and support you. Not only just watching on ESPN, but having a big arena that they can come to Lincoln.
Correct. Lincoln is a football state. If you watch, city. If you watch Nebraska football play, and you see how, our state turn out each and every home game, you will see how big it is, and that's what I want for me in my fights. I want it to be as big as that. 80,000 people coming to each and every home game, sold out. And who knows, maybe one day I can be able to fight in a football stadium.
I like that. That was nice, right? Todd, what was that face?
I love fights in football stadiums.
Yeah, come on. It's great. Let me ask you, Terence, you win this fight. I mean, you've already been in the discussion of top 3 pound-for-pound fighters. Some have you 1, 2, 3. You win this fight on Saturday and you collect all this hardware. Where do you think you deserve to be in the rankings?
Number 1. Number 1, it's nothing else to be discussed about. It's number 1.
All right, and go ahead. Lastly, let me ask you this, because I know this is something that the fans are wondering. Your goal was to unify all the belts at 140. That was your goal in this division, why you stayed here, although people have asked you about moving up to welterweight 147. You do that on Saturday night. Is this your last fight at 140?
Well, we don't know yet. Like I tell everybody, we at 140 now, and this is where we doing our business at. And Brian McIntyre and Saul Dieguez and Red Spikes and Cameron Duncan, them my managers and my coaches, and Top Rank, my promoters, what's best for my career. That's where we're gonna go.
All right, well, first things first is taking care of business on Saturday night. Anything else you'd like to say, Terence?
I just like to thank everybody that came out. I'd like to thank everybody that already got their tickets already to the fight. It's gonna be a great turnout. I'm looking forward to putting on a tremendous show like I always do. And I'll see y'all Saturday.